we good? Centered? Focused? Are we back? We're back, baby! Here we are, back on the YouTube channel. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about 5 things that I've learned since doing a digital nomad traveling experience at the beginning of the year. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Bianca and I'm a content strategist. I work with other business owners to help with their content creation. I started my own business back in 2020 and I started doing my business full time in 2021. And this year, one of our big goals was to work and travel at the same time. I always had this misconception or like this idea in my head of what a digital nomad looked like. It was someone who was like an influencer, a content creator. It's someone who had this certain like vibe to it. I kind of have like a digital nomad vibe today, but I'm here to tell you that you can like just throw that image out the window and make it your own and make it whatever you want it to be, really. I wanted to share a little bit more of my insights and kind of what I've learned. Now that it's been a couple of months since I've been back, I've been able to see what my routines were back in Europe versus here, what I've brought back to what I've learned and what I'm still working on, really. If that's really of interest to you, please keep watching and I hope to see you in my other videos soon. I didn't really do a lot of videos while I was traveling, but I do have a couple. So if you're interested in looking at those, they're on my channel. You can go back and watch those. But if you're just here for like the mindset reset and trying to figure out if the digital nomad experience could be for you, then this video is perfect for you. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with the trip that I did 3 months in February, March, and April. It went a little bit into May, so it was like 3.5 months. I did 1 country per month. And so if you kind of want to know a little bit more about the prep process and how we decided to go about this digital nomad journey, I have another video that I talked about that. So if you want to go check that out, you can. For the sake of this video, I did Portugal and then Spain and then Italy. So very different countries, and we did 1 country per month, so we weren't moving around too much, and it also allowed us to be in one place and kind of work and get a routine and all of that good stuff. So let's get into it. The first thing that I wanted to mention, now this might upset some work from home guys and gals out there, but I'm just gonna say it, okay? Getting out of the house makes a massive difference. And I say this because we kind of went into COVID and I was working a 9-to-5 job when COVID started. That 9-to-5 job was, very, very flexible and they allowed us to work from home. As soon as COVID hit, we worked from home full time. Like no questions asked. Everything was all good. We were able to do our work from home. I started my business on the side and it was a completely virtual business that also allowed me to do it completely from home. And so I left my corporate job still like during the pandemic and I've been working from home since 2020. Like I have not been to an office ever since. And so when you're in COVID, you kind of forget what it's like not working from home. And there's so many great benefits to working from home. And obviously when different times of the year, sometimes you want to be at home and you kind of want to be with yourself. Sometimes it's good to be with other people. As someone who is an introvert and who loves being at home, I finally realized this year that I kind of missed going to an office, or I kind of missed getting out of the house, like getting dressed, going to another location. I know it sounds crazy, like silly, because like we used to do it all the time, but I forgot what it was like and it made a huge difference in my productivity. When we were in Lisbon in Italy, we had a co-working place. We also had one in Barcelona, but I tend to go like to different areas in Barcelona. We made sure to get out of the house to go work. Like we wouldn't work from our Airbnb, and it made such a difference. If you have a little bit of a trepidation towards going back to an office, going to a co-working, if you're a business owner and you're working from home 24/7 and you're kind of feeling a little bit sluggish day in and day out, you're not feeling inspired, you're kind of not feeling productive, go to a co-working. Like getting out of the house made a huge difference. I've started to reincorporate that once I got back to Canada. I sometimes go to the co-working office near my house. Sometimes I'll go downtown, and sometimes it's really hard to just like force yourself to get out of the house when you don't have to, but it made such a huge difference. Number 2 on my list, and this kind of falls into the same sort of category of, we kind of got used to this during COVID because like we were kind of isolated and doing our own thing. But this year I really wanted to get my networking skills up. I really wanted to get out of my comfort zone, and I wanted to reconnect with people that I usually don't really connect with. I started reaching out to people more. So that was professionally. So I started to book some coffee chats with people, and that ultimately led to some sales and some leads and some new clients. And I also reconnected with my friends and family. So I've been living in Toronto for like almost 10 years now. And it was the big, like across the seas separation that made me realize, I could phone a friend. I could text my sisters. I can reach out whenever I'd like, and I don't have to wait for someone else to reach out to me. And so once I started, giving my updates on how traveling is going and reaching out to my friends and family, I started getting that reciprocation tenfold, and it made the experience so much richer to be able to share it with my friends and family, and being able to reach out to them a lot more often now has made such a huge difference in my life, especially since this year is a very big year with the traveling and the wedding planning. I needed that support system, and I needed to be able to reach out to people and not being afraid to reach out to people. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to really get out there, get out of your comfort zone and meet new people. That's, in your personal life, but also in like your traveling and experience and that sort of networking thing. I am always the big proponent of like being scared to do that. And if you don't want to do it in person and kind of want to do the virtual thing to kind of have that buffer, then it's better than nothing. Obviously, it has brought me so much more joy and leads and sales and compassion towards others this year. Number 3 on my list is routines, routines, routines. Even if you are moving around a lot, if you're traveling or if you're, on the go, there is still an opportunity for you to create a routine around that. And I'm someone who really thrives around having a routine, and that's why it was so important for us to be able to kind of have a home base every single month while we were traveling. It works on young children and it works for adults as well. When you have a routine or something that you can kind of fall back on and rely on, it gives you a lot of a big sense of comfort. There were some weekends and some, extended periods of time where we would kind of go exploring and doing new things, but really in the core of, if you're actually working Monday to Friday and you're traveling at the same time, a routine really helped us get our mind into work mode and then fun and vacation sort of mode. I know a lot of people who have worked and traveled at the same time, and your brain automatically goes to like a vacation brain if you're not too careful. And so that's why we made sure to really have some great routines, and we would work Eastern time. So we would start working at, 2 or 3 in the afternoon and work till 10 and 11 at night. So it was so crucial for us to have like a morning routine, making sure that we're sleeping well, that we're eating well, that we're moving, we're working out, we're walking a lot. And so that really helped us in the long run. Number 4 on my list is listening to your body. And this might seem like an obvious one or something that's like kind of like intrinsically true, but sometimes we have a hard time listening to our body and figuring out what we actually need. So I had a few times in my trip where I felt really homesick or just really uncomfortable in my body. And sometimes it was hard to decipher whether it was just fear or whether I just really needed kind of like a reset and alone time. I would say if you're feeling a little bit trepidatious, or if you're feeling a little bit like low energy in some points, that is totally normal for a big travel experience like that. And so I would just say to listen to your body. If you need a night just to yourself to kind of just relax, or if you need some sort of like comfort food or comfort like chat with your friends and family, use all the time you need to kind of reset and refresh for a brand new day, because that time that you're traveling is so precious, and it doesn't come very often. And so my partner Colton was always kind of trying to tell me that, and I wanted to make sure that I made the most out of every single location that we were in, every single new experience that I had. I wanted to make sure that I enjoyed it and I was fully present. And finally, number 5 on my list is plan ahead, but also go with the flow. What I mean by planning ahead is you have to, before even going on this big once in a lifetime trip, you gotta really sit down and think about what is truly important to you and what would make this trip rich and will make you feel fulfilled and will make you feel proud and happy to be on this trip. Because there's so many things that you can do on a digital nomad trip like this. There's so many different experiences and fun things that you can do. You can kind of get pulled into so many different directions. And sometimes that could be overwhelming. So it's really great for you to kind of sit down and say, okay, I want to go to this place. I want to do this. If you're traveling with someone else, kind of get your partner's input on what they would like to do versus what you would like to do, and get those tickets and plan ahead, because Europe's been kind of busy, especially this summer. I've been seeing it's very, very busy. And so sometimes it might be difficult to get to the places that you want to go. So if there's some really big landmarks, landscapes, different trips that you want to do, make sure you book that in advance and you plan ahead for those things, and learn about, the transportation, how you're going to get from one place to another, so that you can really make the most of your trip and you're not wasting time trying to like figure out where you're going and what you're doing. So that's the plan ahead piece. The go with the flow piece is that not everything's going to go your way. And that's for really anything in life. Not everything is going to go your way. It's not going to be planned, like put out exactly the way that you had it in your head. You have to give yourself that space to kind of let things be and go with the flow. I'll give you an example. We were in Venice. We had booked a round trip on the train, and it was a speedy train to Venice from Milan. We got to our, return train, and it wasn't the right station. So we had to really be quick on our feet. We missed the speedy train, and we had to take like a 4-hour train to get back. Obviously, that sucks. It's not exactly like what you wanted to do with your time, and not exactly how you planned it. But it didn't take away from the fact that our day trip to Venice was absolutely fabulous. It was fantastic. We were in the best mood, and we didn't want to bring our vibes down. So we had to take, another train. We still got home in one piece on the same day, and everything was good. Really just making sure that you're going with the flow and being open to different possibilities that are available to you. So that is it for this week's video. Let me know which one was your favorite, and let me know if you're going to be going somewhere in the very near future. I would love to get some more inspiration. We would love to do another fun trip next year, because we had such a great time. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!